Hi everyone, it's Ashley. Thank you so much for clicking on my video today. Let's just go ahead and dive right in and let's address the elephant in the room here. I am doing another Halloween video. I know my last one I said was going to be my final Halloween video of the year, but let me tell you, I have a little bit of a story. So I have a door hanger here. I already cut my design in Design Space. I did show you guys just so you could see like the image number and things, but it really is just a very basic design. We're gonna get it weeded out and put onto our blank. I'm also going to get my hot glue gun started just because I think that I might make a bow for this. So just in case I do choose to do that, I like to go ahead and just have it heated up. Coming in with my squeegee, I'm just going to, just for good measure, go ahead and squeegee the back of this just to help everything stay down as we weed it. Everything should be pretty manageable in this just because it is a fairly big design, but it never hurts to kind of encourage those pieces to stay where you want them. So I just cut this on a really nice soft gray. This is in Oracle 651 vinyl, so I do not anticipate having any issues weeding this, but I will still take my time, go slowly, because it is adhesive vinyl and sometimes it can be just a tad tricky, especially as you get into larger designs. But okay, so let me tell you guys about the door hanger. So I was not going to make any more Halloween. I really wasn't, I was done. But let me tell you, I found this door hanger in one of my boxes, and the last thing that I had on it was in a glitter adhesive vinyl. So I ironed on glitter vinyl onto the door hanger and I put it away for whatever season, after I was done using it, I put it away. So this wood round, I've had it for years and I've redone it. This is probably at least the 5th time that I've redone it. So I definitely got my use out of it. And like I said, the last design I had on it was in a heat vinyl. So it was very tricky to get that off. And I didn't end up getting all of it off. Some of it I just left there and I just took a piece of sandpaper and sanded it down as good as I could. And then I painted the blank itself black. So I think that between the two, I think that it will camouflage it enough. And kind of my reasoning was, I was just gonna throw the hanger out, right? I wasn't gonna do anything with it because it had iron on it. And I've never really removed iron-on from like a wood surface. So I was just gonna throw it out, but I was like, well, if there's any time that I could use this door hanger one more time, it would be for Halloween, right? Because it can look like really beat up and really just like it's on its last leg, which it definitely is. Halloween is the holiday for that. So I figured, well, let me see if I can take off the iron-on vinyl and I can paint over it. And I knew I could paint it black, which will help hide a lot of the imperfections. So I was like, well, let me see if I can get it off. And like I said, it took me a long time and I was not completely successful. There was still some on there and I'll show you guys in just a second. Okay, so we got that all weeded. That looks great. Let's go ahead and bring in my transfer tape. I know I'm gonna need a new piece for this because it is fairly big. So let's just put this right on top here. And then I can kind of trim this to fit. So I try to keep my transfer tape with like a straight edge, the roll. So like this was a little piece that was hanging off. You guys just saw me trim it off. I'll just set this to the side and it's like a brand new piece. So I'll just leave it there. But I like to kind of keep my, I try to keep my roll pretty straight on the end. So I just weeded my design, went through, grabbed all my middles there. You guys saw me do that. I'm just gonna grab a corner of this transfer tape here. And then I'm just going to peel this back just a little, just enough so that we can get some of it down, but we don't want it to be too unmanageable. So just as much as you're comfortable with, not too much. And then I'll just kind of fold it into itself so it's not trying to bend back on me. And then we're just gonna take this, put it right over our design. Perfect. And then grabbing this that we just folded back, we're just gonna lay that down. Bringing back in our squeegee. I just like to start from the center, kind of work my way out, turning it over. I'll burnish the back as well. And then let's go ahead and clean up. And then bringing back in my blank. So this is gonna be the top. This is where it's gonna hang from. And like I said, as you can see, like this hanger is on its last life. So I just sanded it down as good as I could get it. You can still see some of the iron on here. Went with my weeding tool and got as much of it off as I could. What I couldn't get off, I just used some sandpaper. I just got it as flat as I could. And then from there, I knew I was gonna paint it black, so I was hoping that would hide most of the imperfections, and I think that it will. So that is just fine. And I think, like I said, if there's any holiday I could get away with using this one last time, it's Halloween, right? So I decided to take the opportunity. Okay, I just went ahead and grabbed a piece of parchment paper so that way I can make sure my placement is really nice here and I don't have to worry about it falling on my blank and getting stuck. So now just with a little piece of that transfer tape exposed at the top, I can now move this around because it's on my parchment paper, right? And like I said, I think that I'm going to add a bow to this. So I think that I want to bring it down just a little. And then let me make sure once again that this is the top. Okay, so I added my own little hanger here as well. So just kind of seeing where that is. All right. And then I just want to kind of, like I said, I want to bring it a little more towards the bottom. So I think that that might be okay. Let's kind of take a look here. Okay, what do you guys think? I think that that looks okay. It's funny because when I go to edit my videos, I'm always like, when you watch it back, it's so much clearer and you're like, oh my gosh, move it like 3 centimeters to the left. What are you doing? You know, but when you're in the moment and you're doing it, you know, hindsight is always 20/20. So do not worry. I watch my videos and I think, oh my gosh, that is not centered, but you know what? It is what it is. They come out just as sweet. So no problem. So honestly, I think that that looks just about good. I could bring it down just a little more. Let's see, should I risk it? I'm gonna try. Because I think I really do, oh no, it's down. Okay, no, it's down, so we're just gonna commit because I am not losing this whole sign. So just laying that down. Okay, and then I'm just gonna kind of start from the center. I'm gonna burnish this, but I also just painted this. So, and this is brand new transfer tape. So I am gonna burnish it, but just once. And I'm gonna be very, very careful pulling this up. Now, like I said, this is a Halloween theme. I'm not worried if it brings up a little bit of that paint. It's not a big deal at all. I'm definitely going for a rustic, haunted theme here, so no problem with that. But I also don't want it to pull up, you know, a huge chunk, right? So just go slowly. Help the vinyl lay down as you go, but we don't want that transfer tape so stuck on there that it's gonna pull up our tape on the way up, okay? So just, you'll kind of see where a good medium for that is, and you'll kind of feel out your blank, your transfer tape that you're using and things like that. But just monitor what is in front of you. And just know that you can always go back and touch up your paint. You can always go back and recut something. So it is not the end of the world, but it is always nice when we get it on the first try, am I right? So like right here, I just went and scraped that down. And I don't know if you guys can see, but it pulled up quite a bit of my paint there, which luckily you can't see too much, but just make note of that. I did go and, you know, reinforce that part, and then it did take off quite a little bit of paint there, but this is looking so good. It's actually looking a lot better than I even thought it was, so I am pleasantly surprised. Okay, great. Now, I will tell you that this piece of transfer tape now, I am gonna put it back on my liner, and I might use it, I might not, but I will tell you that this piece of transfer tape, if you use it on a painted surface, and especially a painted wood surface, it is going to have a lot of debris on it. It has paint and wood on it, so just be mindful of that. I would probably recommend don't reuse this. Like I said, I might have a project in the future where it would be possible, so knowing me, I'll hang on to it for a while, but just FYI. So this is how our sign came out, and I'm honestly super happy with it. I think it came out super cute. I didn't lose too much of my paint there, so that's always nice. And you can even tell, like right here, like right under the suite is a part where I couldn't get that iron on up. So it's like right here, you can kind of tell it's a little raised, but when you're like looking at the sign, you can't tell at all. So that's really nice. Okay, so now bringing in, I had this buffalo check ribbon that I got after Christmas one year on clearance. So I've been using this for Halloween, and I've really been liking it. So I will tell you guys right now, I am horrible at making bows. I'm so sorry. This is not a bow tutorial. I do not know how to make bows. I don't know. I'm just really bad at them. I don't know why. I try to make bows, but just have not mastered it. So I'm just going to show you guys what I do. Please look up a different tutorial on YouTube for bow making, because I know that mine is not great. 10,000 better ways to make one. And then I also have this piece of orange velvet ribbon that I got at the Dollar Tree that I also want to try to use. So we will see. And every single time I like make a bow, I always think I'm gonna look up a tutorial before I make it, and I'm gonna like make a really nice bow. And then it comes time to make a bow, and I'm usually just in such a hurry, and I just always make it the same way I make it. And I always think I need to get better at making bows. And then I just continue to make the same bow I make every time. But it is what it is. It works for me, and I have no problem with them. So just know that there are way better ways to make bows. So I'm just gonna bring in just some hot glue. So I just have on my little finger protector from Dollar Tree. I'm just kind of making a loop as big as I wanted it for the top of my bow. So just about like that. And then I just am gonna make two of them, and then I'm just gluing like two ends of them together. So I will just take some glue, take this, and then I just like to not push it down on itself because it definitely will seep through the fabric. Okay, so now I have these two loops that one should be maybe just a little bit smaller than the other. So just like that. And then I just kind of line up my seams so that those two seams are in the middle. Let me set this to the side so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So I wanted to maybe bring in this ribbon. I think this is like the last little piece I have of it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same to this. And I think that I can use this as an outer layer. Okay, perfect. So now I kind of have like 3 different widths of ribbon, right? So I have like a medium one, And then I have a smaller one, both out of the buffalo check. And then this one should be bigger than both of those. So actually it looks like it's just about the same as the buffalo check, which is fine. And I just have this huge thing of twine I got from Walmart like years ago at this point, and I have just never gone through it. I use it for everything. I'll just cut a piece of that long enough to go around these and then also tie, okay? So now with my 3 seams, kind of one on top of each other as much as I can, I'm just gonna kind of start from the top and the bottom and just kind of bring these in and just kind of pinch them towards the middle. And I want to try to get those seams together, and I want to kind of try to hide them as much as I can. And then I'm just going to hold that. And your goal here is to tie it, right, with your twine. So just kind of get that bunched up nice and tight. Hold it there until you're able to tie it with your twine. And then I just go in, tie it really tight, do a double knot. So that looks good. So then your bow should look something like this. We just have 3 layers, just kind of pinched together, nothing crazy. But then from there, I'm just gonna kind of start to fluff it, right? I'm just gonna start fluffing it out. I'm gonna just start manipulating it and playing with it until it looks exactly how I want it to look. Again, just starting with that bottom layer, just opening up that bow. I'll kind of turn my fabric if it's inside out, fluffing those sides because I like to get a nice and full bow. I think that that looks pretty good. Like I said, I am absolutely no expert bow maker, that is for sure. This is just how I do it and it works for me. It's nice and easy. And I like the way that it comes out. I like the way that it looks. So I will just trim. I have like a little piece of wire sticking up there and then a little piece of fabric that's kind of wonky there. So just trimming that. And then I'm gonna trim my twine pieces in the back. Perfect. Now let's switch this out, bring back in my blank here. Let's see how we're gonna get this on. So I'm thinking, I wish I would have brought that down just a little, but it kind of stuck on me and I wasn't able to, so that's okay. Let's see, we could do it to the side. I don't know, I'm kind of liking the side actually. Yeah, I think so. So final answer, I'm just gonna go on the side here. I think that that looks so cute. I am loving it. So just putting down a generous amount of hot glue. I'm just gonna hold that there for just a moment. Give that just a moment to dry. You know, you can make it as flat or as fluffy as you like. That is all personal preference, but that is just how I decided to do it. So jumping into design space here, this is the design that I have in mind for my door hanger. Let's go ahead and right click this so I can show you guys. This is the name of it. It's called Home Sweet Haunted Home, and this is the image ID. So if you just type this in with the hashtag in front into design space, it will bring up this specific image that I used. So first thing I'm going to do is come over to shapes. I'm going to grab a circle and I'm going to make this 11 inches because that is how big we have to work with for our sign. So I'm just going to move this over. Design space looks to be being a little weird today, but that's okay. And then I'll go ahead and make this black just because I've said before the gray color that it kind of comes in as is very hard on my eyes. So I don't prefer to look at that. I much prefer to look at black. So I will just make this white so when we go to move it onto our circle, we can see it. And then also right click, I'm going to say bring to front. So then that way it will be right on top of our circle. Now, kind of looking at this design right off the bat, it's longer than it is wide, right? Which is okay. But to kind of get this whole thing on the sign, for me personally, you don't have to mess with it and this and that. And I don't feel like it's really shaped perfectly for a circle,
But I think one of the things that will really help that is if we come into contour, I think taking out this top and bottom bat, although they're super cute, I love them and I would love to keep them and maybe like we could add them somewhere else if you wanted to do that. I'm simply just going to remove them for the sake of this design, just because I think then we're able to make this so much bigger. And then to me, that fits a circle a lot better than it did with the two bats, right? So like I said, you could always slice those bats out and then move them around, like here on the side and then maybe here would look nice. But for me, I think that this is going to work perfectly fine, and I think that that actually looks spot on with the size. So I'm actually going to leave it just like that. I'm going to go ahead and with my circle selected, I'm just going to delete that because we don't need it, and then I will hit make it. This is going to be a pretty big design, so I will need just about almost, a full 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So I'm just going to get this cut out on the premium vinyl setting, and I will see you guys back at the desk.
Okay, guys, so what do you think? Let me just tell you, I am over the moon that I found this blank. I was determined to throw it out and get it out of my craft space today, but I actually was able to repurpose it and to give it a new life. And I think that this is the perfect old beat up sign just in time for Halloween. I think it's giving haunted house vibe. I think that it is just so cute, and I'm glad that I was able to save the blank and use it one more time. So I don't think that I will be able to get any more uses out of this blank specifically. That's why I did go ahead and hot glue my bow on. I couldn't be more happy with the way this came out. So guys, I know that this was a little bit of a trick, but I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next. Bye.